We're now heading towards the longest format of the game, probably the purest format of the game. My favorite, red ball cricket test match. I have Rohan and Utsav with me. Welcome to the show. We're talking about the team of the year in 2024 when it comes to the longest format of the game. We're doing the shoot right now, but early in the day, I must tell you, Rohan, I'll ask you this question. It was not good enough when it comes to Indian side, Indian result. Like, since the time Gautam Gambhir took over this Indian side, all the records have been going against us. All the records have been shattered. This is not the Indian team we knew traveling to Australia and getting hammered, bullied. We saw this last when Mahendra Singh Dhoni was the captain, to be honest.
The team management, the seniors are looking a bit jaded and clueless. Also, Pritham, to be honest, Rohit's captaincy is, be it even Gambhir's picking the choice of the 11 for the particular conditions, all are a huge question mark. To be honest, until some tough decisions, I know may be not popular, but it's high time we put our foot down and make certain decisions for the betterment and future of Indian cricket. Because if this continues, I mean, as you see in Australia, losing is fine, it's away, but we lost at home too. That shouldn't be overshadowed. That's even
Correct.
more bad, to be honest. I mean, at home where we had such a proud record for a decade and more, suddenly losing all three games, I think that's where the problem started and just compounded in Australia. We were lucky at Perth, to be honest, because of some excellent captaincy and bowling by Jassi, who has literally kept us alive till date. Kudos to that Bumrah's fitness and his skill, man. I think he deserves highest praise among whoever has played till Indian cricket fast bowling, I feel. But just others haven't just stepped up and supported him. That's what has been our Achilles heel with the ball. And as the two big names haven't just delivered, it's the first time also who have gone to Australia who have come good, like a Jaiswal, Nitish Reddy, all other, the youngsters basically have done it, but the experienced ones have been the let down. And until some tough choices are made, maybe get worse.
Absolutely. But shall we name this series as a Jasprit Reddy series versus Australia?
Yep.
Because the other nine players, or if you talk about the changes as well, have never been got going. If you talk, you said about two big names, because it was just two big names that were selected in the side Utsav. The rest, the other big names were there at home. One of them is playing at SMAT. One of them is in the studio giving commentary. What was this a side? We look into the Aussie side, the average age is of 30 years old, and the youngest is only Sam Constas.
Yep, I agree. I think this goes without saying that the even with the two of the big senior names in the squad, the team is in a transition phase. Uh, Having said that, the this BGT was uh, like it just felt like we were clueless. It just brought back nostalgia of 10 years back. Uh, just just feels like the good old days are back. It seems we have not like it just seems like the fast bowling does not have enough experience. The team is held by just one player with the bat, one player with the ball, and probably a little bit of the all rounders doing their thing in the side. Dismal performance is what I can say at max. When it comes to Australia, this is not the best Australian side we have seen by any
Correct.
stretch of the mile. This can be said uh, one of the I cannot say poorest, but still not up there kind of an Australian side, and we have just gotten outclassed by them.
Absolutely, 100% right. But when you talk about the recent record, if you talk about the records that happened in the entire year, I'll focus on the recent ones that happened the last 48 hours. Utsav, coming back to you. India last lost a Boxing Day test to Australia at Australia was 12 years ago. We all remember that. That record has also gone shattered in this test, in today rather. And did we deserve to lose, or do you think we could have salvaged a draw from this one?
Obviously, we could have salvaged a draw. The only difference I think in this test match has been the number 11, the 10th wicket partnership of Australia in both the innings. Uh, just took the game away from us. I think there has only been two occasions where the 10th wicket partnership has lasted over 10 overs in both the uh, innings, and one was in 1960s
Correct.
at Lords and now here at Melbourne. So I think that was the entire difference. We were very much in the game when they were 90 for 6 yesterday, and then suddenly everything just went downhill with Nathan Lyon scoring 40 odd runs. That's what took the game away from us. Even today, we had the chance to salvage a draw, but unfortunately, could not happen after Rishabh Pant got out.
Absolutely. That dismissal of Rishabh Pant completely changed the complexion of the game, is what I believe. But people talking about technology, dismissal, I think honestly, both the dismissals of Akashdeep and Yashasvi Jaiswal were proper out. I think they were absolutely out. No matter what the different technology errors have been. I think proper, if you look into the cricketing point of view, if you look into the front on replays, there was clear deflection from the bat of Yashasvi Jaiswal. There was clear deflection from Yakasdeep. So I think that there's no point about saying what Australia have been doing over the years. But this one absolutely was fair. Correct decisions by both the decisions by the third umpire from Bangladesh. But Rohan, another massive achievement. As we always say, long live Test cricket. What about this one? More than 350,000 sold out tickets in the Border Gavaskar Trophy Boxing Day Test at MCG. How much of a statement is that in this format of which is the purest format of the game, that Test cricket is the ultimate?
I think you said it tested you in all kind of ways, your skills, your temperament, your character, in every which way. This record could be achieved. Only reason was because it went till the fifth day. The pitch also needs to be given a bit of credit, right? It wasn't like those green mambas that you can get at Gabba or Perth
Fifth
or
day,
some
final
ranked
hour.
final hour. Yeah, that's what exciting test cricket is, right? Gripping, keeps you honest, saying anything can happen in the result. Maybe even a hang on draw
All
like
four
what
results
happened in
were
2021.
possible.
Yes, I mean that's what makes it interesting. You'll be hooked onto your seat. What's going to happen next? Hoping your team salvages a draw or something. But end of the day, Test cricket needs this kind of games just to keep it alive, because nowadays it's 3 day games or 4 day games is what the Test is getting over with the eye on WTC and points which are in stake. But if you produce a good wicket, and since it was a festive crowd, the Christmas holidays were there, people wanted to spend all those 5 days with their family, watching a good Test cricket the entire day. And Melbourne lived up to its beauty of good proper test match cricket pitches. Though previously we have seen where it can get a bit of a dull draw, this pitch had everything: a bit of seam movement, something for the spinners, decent enough bounce for if you get set, you could always carry on. As we saw in both sides, when the players got their eye in and put their heart into
Yeah.
their soul to apply themselves, I think they scored good enough runs. It's just those people who are a bit flashy and indisciplined who didn't quite make it. I think that's what you need a proper test cricket. Not have too much in favor of a batter or a bowler, but just that right balance. I think end of the day, if you achieve that proper test wicket, you'll get all these kind of results in the record numbers.
100%, and we hope that we see more games that goes on to the fifth day, probably in the final session, because these days this is the reason why we love Test cricket, to be honest. But Utsav, if you go 24 hours before as well, South Africa, they are upgrading as a side, I must say, be it the men's and the women's World Cup final, T20 World Cup final, men's T20 World Cup final, now make it to the World Test Championship final for the first time. They defeated Pakistan yesterday and now make it to the finals. They booked this spot at the home of cricket. How much did they deserve this position?
Yeah, absolutely. They deserved it fully. And adding to that long list of finals they have made, they were almost in the finals of the 2023 World Cup as well, the ODI Cricket World Cup. They almost did, but unfortunately, the semifinals went in
That
their
is
way
also,
because
if
of
you're as you were talking about the 10th wicket partnership, that is also Mitchell Stark and Pat Cummins partnership
yeah,
in the semi-final as well.
yeah. So I think yes, they haven't made it. They haven't won the finals as of now, but I think the more number of finals they play, the higher the odds of winning it becomes. And I have a very good feeling about this South African team. Maybe they'll just do the unthinkable uh, in June. So that is what I'm looking
Okay,
forward
so
to. Apart
you
from
had a
that, the last
smile on your face when you said in June, but who do you think will be the opponent? Because there are three teams that are still fighting for it. Your own team, our country has just 0.1% chance. Honestly, is it Australia?
see, I mean it's 85%. Okay, even 90%. I would say Australia. I would give India a 6% chance, probably a 4% to Sri Lanka. And it all boils down to the match at Sydney, because if we win at Sydney, if Australia wins at Sydney, it's done. If Australia wins at Sydney, Australia confirms their seat. So
Correct.
it all boils down to the next test match. But I honestly think that it is going to be Australia. Let's be honest about it.
Absolutely. That's the honest answer I received, to be honest. But this is what has been a year full of thrills throughout the year. We had so many ICC tournaments, but Test cricket at its best. India started off with a wonderful series at home versus England and ended with a poor back-to-back three Test matches at Australian soil. But now we talk about the Test predicted playing 11 Test team of the year, according to me. Starting with the openers, Rohan, couple of hard-hitting batsmen at the top of the order. Yashasvi Jaiswal and Ben Duckett are my two openers, both left-handers. Are they no-brainers according to you? Is there any other person you're very interested to look into at the top of the order this year?
Jaiswal definitely, man. The kind of fear he has had and the impact and the kind of strike rate also on tough pitches here versus England wasn't easy. And to make it big at his first big tour of Australia as well, on his first test in Perth, as well as in Melbourne, also he did decently. So I think Yashasvi Jaiswal is a no-brainer definitely for me. Ben Duckett, the kind of again the impact he has had at the top of the order for England has come good this year, though had shown flashes of brilliance here and there, but finally has got some consistency. He did decently well in India also, but only other guy, maybe was someone like a Tony Dizzozi. Did
Okay.
recently well against Bangladesh. I think got a big 100 there. But if you compare the two, I think Duckett is ahead of him for me. So I think one and two are obvious choices.
Okay, one and two are obvious choices. When we come to three and four, Utsav, we talk about the Fab Four over the years. We have a couple of Fab Twos out here, while the other two, one is slowly and steadily getting his form back, while the other is not even getting a form because his problem has always been in that cordon around the fourth to sixth to eighth stump, probably as well. But if we talk about out here, Kane Williamson at number three, Joe Root at number four, according to me, are they justifying their positions out here?
Yes, absolutely. Both of them have justified their position. It will be criminal to have a Test 11 of 2024 without both of these guys. The way they have scored runs, I think Kane Williamson started off with 3 centuries in the first 4 innings
Mhm.
and then ended with another big century, big I guess 146 odd. So Kane Williamson books his seat. The only thing you can say about him is maybe that he could not score as fluently outside
Correct.
New Zealand, but he just makes it. Scoring 1,000+ runs in a calendar year, he deserves to be there. Again, nothing can be said about Joe Root. Just ever since the COVID break has happened, this guy has found some supreme kind of a form, and he's just after the guy behind me. I think he'll overtake him. Apart from that, you were
In a
talking about
matter of
Virat Kohli.
time.
Yeah, in a matter of time. When you were talking about Virat Kohli and his fourth stump problems, I think it's been 5 years now. I think he would have gotten dismissed in that fashion probably 50 odd times now. So if he has not made a change over there, even he is behind me. If he hasn't made a change with that, then I just do not see a point talking about it anymore.
Absolutely, that's very disappointing to hear. But yes, we are talking about a team of the year without the man, the chase master, the Virat Kohli out here in the list because unfortunately he is not part. Did not have had a horrible year in red ball cricket, to be honest. Number five, a player that has looked so promising in all the three formats. I must tell you for Sri Lanka, Rohan, and I think he's a player for the future as well. Coming to Mendes, I think he deserves a spot at number five without a doubt.
100%. I think he's been one of the standout players for Sri Lanka. Even in England, when the team was struggling initially in the couple of tests, he
Correct.
came back with some very good performances, hundreds there against very good quality attacks. So it's not like he scored only at home or anything, but even away when the conditions were a bit tough against quality attacks and the situation that particular team was in, to come out and give them a bit of hope. Also, I think that shows a lot of mental strength from the young man. Definitely one of the future stars. I feel from Sri Lanka coming to Mendes should be in definite this year's Test 11 for me.
Okay, so coming to Mendes for sure at number five. Yes, Utsav, over to you.
Yeah, also, I would like to add one more thing that all of us know that, but fastest to 1,000 Test runs. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah,
one innings he has
absolutely.
played more than Sir Everton Weeks and Sutcliffe, equal Don Bradman. So yeah, he has literally done something which probably what like Kumar Sangakkara esque kind of a year he has had.
Absolutely. I think he had a record of scoring back-to-back half centuries on the trot. I think four or five on the trot because he had a wonderful season at England. That's the reason why his numbers said all 1,049 runs throughout the entire year. Moving into the wicket-keeping duties in the middle order, this is something where it became very, very dicey. To be honest, there were not many choices. To be honest, not enough runs from Alex Carey. You go to Jamie Smith from England. He had an on and off season. To be honest. Rishabh Pant, but he disappointed in this most important Border Gavaskar trophy. So I had to go for somebody like Pakistan's Mohammad Rizwan Utsaf. Is he somebody who is the closest or the only person that deserves a spot in this 11?
Rizwan is definitely up there. He has, I guess, a 170 against Bangladesh at home, but again, that was at uh,
That was a
highway kind of a
flat pitch
surface.
at Pakistan. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So I would still go for a Jamie Smith. I think he has scored more runs at a similar or a better average. I think he averages 42 or something at 600 odd runs. So I would go for Jamie Smith, but I do not see a huge problem with having Mohammad Rizwan in there because he's also up there as most of the wicket keepers and most of the openers did not have a good time in 2024 as batters.
Okay, but Rohan, he gave an option of Jamie Smith. So if you are a captain, if you have to choose a wicket keeper that helps you in giving decision makings of reviews, would you opt for Jamie Smith? Because if it's Rizwan, he will appeal for every single delivery rather.
James Smith has been very technically solid also behind the stumps. So I think that's one of the reasons he can be high up there. But also to add, I think Rishabh Pant is also an X factor, man. Any test playing 11 without that guy, you know what you're gonna get, or sometimes you don't know what you're gonna get also. So if you're an opposition captain, you'll be fearing Pant a lot more. I know based
Even
on
even if
numbers, the
even
Smith were
your own team's captain will be fearing Rishabh Pant.
100%. Everyone in the changing room will be fearing him, and add to it the fans. But Pant can be your X factor. You don't know what's going to happen. Any situation. Even in the series against New Zealand, though the other batter struggled, that guy was very comfortable playing his shots, a few knocks here and there on a real dust balls. I think he gave a lot of hope to Indian fans when people were thinking India may lose. That guy kept the innings afloat and gave us that bit of hope that we can pull it off, like in Bangalore with Sarfaraz, also in Mumbai when I think the chase was
Yeah.
very close. He did bat well. So I think for just that effort that he was putting in, not to forget that he's back from the accident that also happened, and giving him that bit of a leeway. I think Rishabh Pant also can be a guy whom you can give it as an option.
Okay, so Rishabh Pant is an option, Mohammad Rizwan is an option, and Jamie Smith. The three names I've received, but I think I'll stick to Mohammad Rizwan, just like Utsav said. Not a problem having Rizwan at the moment. I'll stick to him because of the consistency as well as the leadership skills he has upgraded himself for Pakistan. Moving on to the bowlers, the all-rounder section. This was another very, very tricky, I must tell you, Utsav. I had to choose between either of Ravindra Jadeja or Mehdi Hasan Miraz. I've gone with Mehdi Hasan Miraz. Which one are you going for?
Again, I would have picked Jadeja over Miraz. I think Miraz has had a better batting stint. I guess he has scored 600 runs. Jadeja has 500 runs. But when it comes to bowling, I think Jadeja has outperformed himself. 48 wickets in 12 matches.
Correct.
That's pretty good, and among the top five most wickets in this calendar year. So I would give him his flowers, Ravindra Jadeja over Miraz. But again, as I mentioned about Rizwan, it it's not the worst call out there to pick Mehdi Hasan Miraz, because he is definitely up there. Probably, if not Jadeja, you would go for someone like a Miraz as a spinner.
Okay, so I'll go to Ravindra Jadeja for this because both of you are agreeing with this fact. That was a tough call. I leave it up to you guys. Next, moving on to a seamer that we shouldn't discuss about. Jasprit Bumrah, no brainer, straight away into the 11. Gus Atkinson and Matt Henry are the other two bowlers I have gone with. Rohan, is KG Rabada up there because he reached a milestone in this year, 300 Test wickets. Similarly, the others. What's your thought process? Are you going with these two bowlers?
Yeah, to rightly as you said, Jasprit Bumrah is a no-brainer, man. Your number one pick in this 11, I think, should be Jasprit Bumrah, starting from number 11. Gus Atkinson, not just his bowling, but his batting also has come good, given those handy runs low down the order, which can be affected these days. To give you those handy runs in the lower order is vitally important. Not to forget, he has got a hat-trick also. So one of the few
Correct.
records, I think, where he has put a 10 wicket haul in the game, as well as scored 100. And a hat trick. I think that's a dream here for any player, let alone in Seema who is batting lower down. So I think Gus Atkinson also should be a good choice in this 11. Between Henry and Rabbard, I think just for the uh, effort that guy has taken to pick wickets even at subcontinent, I think Rabada, because he had a standout performance in Bangladesh, I think Kagis Rabada should be there. Just imagine a Rabada, Atkinson, and a Bumrah coming at you, and there will be no let-ups, no half volleys for sure, and any opposition will be fearing at any kind of a pitch. So these guys will take the pitch out of equation and you get you wickets anytime.
Absolutely, but just like Utsav said earlier in the show, that it has not been the best of the years for Australia. Very surprised to see not a single Australian seamer in this list.
Uh,
Maybe because of the pitches, and also they haven't played much Test cricket from the start of the year to the end. So I think that's also a factor, and not consist because someone like Hazelwood has been missed out. A few matches, Boland has come in, so maybe that longevity in terms of matches has been the factor for them, whereas others have got enough games to help themselves to pick up wickets. I think so. I think that's where reason the Australian seamers are missing here, but others have earned their due here.
Absolutely, others have earned their due. But moving into number 11, just because I've picked Mehdi Hasan Miraz, I went for Prabhat Jayasuriya Utsav. But now, as we're shifting towards Ravindra Jadeja, is it somebody, an off spinner you want to look into, somebody like Shoaib Bashir? Are you still sticking to somebody like Prabhat Jayasuriya?
I might as well go for Shoaib Bashir. He just not. I mean, as the reaction Rohan gave, he just does not seem like the kind of a guy who you would put in the entire year's Test 11. But still, I guess with Prabhat Jasuria, you kind of add something, a home ground bully kind of a statement, a tag with him. But I think Shoaib Bashir has been used at places where he would not get as much assistance as well. So probably I would go for a Shoaib Bashir. But apart
But do
from
you
that,
really
I think
think that Bashir is a wicket taking threat compared to Prabhat Jayasuriya?
both of them are. Shoaib Bashir, yeah, I mean, Prabhat Jasuria has proven it time and time again that whenever it comes to turning tracks, then Prabhat Jasuria is a wicket taking threat. I think no one comes close to him. But I guess if I had a free run at making this test 11, I would have gone for four pacers, because pacers, there are a few pacers who have actually had a magnificent season, including someone who was just mentioned recently. Both of them actually. Pat Cummins has taken a bunch of wickets in this BGT. Averages 24, which is not that low. But Josh Hazelwood, he has 35 wickets in 7 games at an average lesser than that of Jasprit Bumrah. His average is 13.6, I
Wow.
guess.
Wow, that's insane, I must tell you. But you said about having four paces and one spinner. Rohan, do you agree with the same as well? If
I
yes,
think you
then
can
I'll
add
change
one
the
more
11,
guy
to
who
be
had
honest.
a decent series against Bangladesh, Jaden Seals. Some remarkable
Oh,
figures he
yes.
had, where he had maidens and wickets galore on a tough pitch at the Caribbean. I think Jaden Seals also is an improving bowler, and I think at the start of the year there was a magic happening at the Gaba. We are forgetting him, Shamar Joseph. The kind of effort that guy puts in wholehearted at every given. I mean, we saw he was injured also that game, but still came out and blasted the Aussies away to a defeat at Gaba, which I think after India beat them, only West Indies achieved it at Brisbane. So I think someone like him also can be in contention. But four paces is what even I would look at. Or maybe if you want these four bowlers are enough, you can have an extra batter. In fact, just to give you that extra option, depending on the condition, a sixth batter, maybe a Travis Head who has been a headache for India can also be in contention because the kind of runs he has scored. Harry Brook has been having a very good year as well. I think 300 in Pakistan. But problem I think was sorted out once the pitch started spinning a bit, which is his Achilles heel. I think these two guys can be an option, but four paces I would love to have, man.
Okay, so you have given so many options, I must say. So I'll go with four pacers and one spinner once again. So this is the 11 we have gone with after discussing with both of us. Yashashvi Jaiswal, Ben Duckett are the openers. Kane Williams at number 3, Joe Root at number 4, Kamindu Mendes at 5, Mohammad Rizwan at 6, Ravindra Jadeja at 7, Jasprit Bumrah, Pat Cummings, Gus Atkinson, and Kagiso Rabada are the four seamers according to me. This is 11, led by I'll give it to the experienced Kane Williamson as the captain, Rohan.
Yeah, comparative to others, I think Williamson is slightly more experienced. But just think of it, man. He has just led in one test this series. Don't you think someone like a Jasprit Bumrah as a left field option can also do a decent job? Uh, has been
No,
putting
I also
wholehearted
had
effort
Pat
this
Cummings
series.
in the 11, so maybe a Pat Cummings
Yeah,
as well could be
if
a good
Cummins can
test.
do it, why not a Bumrah, man?
Then you need
Say
to
that
talk
to
to Ajit
Gautam Gambhir.
Agarkar again. I said Ajit Agarkar, he said Gautam Gambhir. That's the right thing. I think we should inform them as well. But moving into the women's side as well, I think in the red ball format, the women's team did not play much Test cricket, to be honest. So this was the players that picked themselves is what I more or less find. So South Africa, India, England, and Australia were the only nations that played Test cricket. So let's straight away go on to the 11, and then we'll discuss about anybody I am missing out from you guys. Laura Volvart and Shefali Verma are the openers. Nat Skivabrunt at 3, Sunil Luce at 4, Heather Knight at 5, Marizan Cap at 6, Annabel Sutherland 7, Sneh Rana, Malaba, Lauren Bell, and Darcy Brown are the four bowlers. Two spinners, two pacers. Utsav, starting with Annabel Sutherland. A dream year for her, to be honest.
Yep. I think okay. She has been pretty good with the bat as well. In okay again, we are basing this test 11 out of one game or two games, and South Africa has played,
Correct.
I guess, most of the test matches, which is three. So the sample size is extremely low. But again, with the small sample size, I guess Annabel Sutherland has done a very good job.
Correct.
A double century. I mean, okay, she makes her way into the side. Yeah, nothing more to say about it actually.
Absolutely nothing more to say, to be honest, because as you said, the players, the women's side have played very less Test cricket, so more or less the players speak themselves. But coming to the captaincy headache to you, Rohan, you have Laura Volvet at the top of the order, you have Heather Knight's experience at the middle order. Who are you heading towards when it comes to leadership for the women's side?
I think here also, I think I'll go for experience. Someone like Heather Knight has been there and done that, so I think Heather Knight can be your captain for this team. But just to add on, I think someone like Shafali Verma, double hundred, a quick pace against Australia. I think, sorry, against South Africa in Chennai in that weather. I think that's something to comment about. Same game, Sneharana picking 10 in that game is also
Correct.
equally great achievement for an Indian player as well. So credit to these guys to make it to that 11 is what I feel.
Even
Okay,
Mandana
so
had a 150.
yeah, Smriti
Mandana
Mandana
scored
had a
100.
150, but it was a decision between Mandana and Shefali Verma, to be honest. Really feeling sad that Shefali Verma has been chucked out of the limited overs side just because of her poor form. But this is what I've gone with for when it comes to the men's and the women's. Final verdict, final question, final prediction, I must say. Early prediction starting with Utsav. WCC 2025 champions. Is it South Africa? Or if there's anybody else, which is the team are you going for?
I want to be right. Okay, I don't care about being right in the prediction or not. I want to be happy. I want to be justified from within. So I will say South Africa, because if South Africa wins, the amount of happiness it will bring from inside of me is
Absolutely.
not right in comparison to if I say Australia and they actually win it.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that's a very honest answer, to be honest. So you're saying South Africa. The green T-shirt Rohan is wearing, is it the same side I'm expecting from you as well?
See, there are two ways to look at it. Pritham, as Utsav said, from the heart, you want South Africa to win some trophy at last, man. Find the kind of effort these guys are putting in. But in case Australia comes at Lords, those guys have a gun record at Lords, man. And in finals, Australia always have that mental edge against South Africa, beat in any format. So if Australia comes, I think they may just kind of bulldoze through a South Africa team there as well, because of the confidence they would have got beating India in BGT. That can be a factor there. But South Africa, if they do have a chance to win, I think this is it. Because if the conditions in England sometimes can favor the seam and swing bowling, you never know what can happen. So toss may be a vital, and overhead conditions that can be a deciding factor. But man to man, if in case Aussies come, Aussies will start favorite definitely.
Absolutely. So, but in terms of early predictions, both of them from the core of their heart has said South Africa should at least win at least one ICC trophy. Thank you so much, both of you. It has been a
Pritham,
wonderful, wonderful year of Test cricket. Yes, Rohan, for you to sign off, please.
unfortunately, both of us are not mentioning our own teams, man. That's the sad part.
That's very sad part, to be honest. But that's harsh truth, harsh honesty, to be honest. And I would have said the same, to be honest. Thank you so much, both of you. Thank you to all the viewers for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe to Fifth Number. Press the bell icon as well. Once again, in advance, a very happy new year.